Well, how much more effective do you think it would be for say a publicly traded company? So let's say they're going to miss their numbers. In the past, they've just released a press release saying we missed our numbers. Would it be more credible if that management team, instead of just sending out a press release, actually put out a video and came on and said, here's what's going on, and people would see them and get more of a human touch to it? What do you think about that?
In situations like that, if traditionally a public company didn't want to, overly publicize that they missed their numbers, but they're legally required to. It's certainly an option. There are companies that do video news releases, exactly for that type of
Well, everyone's
purpose.
now moved to doing conference calls where everyone can tap in to see those, and some of those are also moving to where you can actually see the video of them talking as well. But it seems to me that press releases 10 years from now might not be press releases anymore. They might be audio and video.
They all have a purpose depending on the specific, I guess, according to the specific needs of the particular client.
It's my opinion that we're in really a public relations paradigm shift. It's an explosion of public relations, in that you don't have to be a large company. I mean, when I was growing up and I went through school, my understanding when I went to university was press releases, what the companies are going to say. Now it's become about, it's empower the little guy, the small business owner, maybe a guy who has a popcorn company, or somebody who has a bowling alley, or has a dance studio. They can not only issue press releases, but they can do the videos, they can hit everything. But the cost of doing it seems has dropped dramatically. So I guess the question I'd like to ask is if you're a small business person and you want to go ahead and you want to start doing public relations, you have a word for it. It's called publicity angles. Direct mail marketers have a unique selling proposition.
We have that as well, actually. Okay. Yeah, and that's a very good point. And just maybe I can take this a second to define. Also, we define sort of the difference between public relations and other forms of marketing, but also there are many types of public relations. You can have, and many types of PR firms. You can have a PR firm that does, event planning or investor relations. So within public relations, right now, we're specifically talking about the impact of publicity. And that's the effect on media stories on your company. So, the first thing that you would want to do is find out what's unique about your business. And sometimes you have to pull someone in to tell you that. Sometimes it's hard to look at your own business and see what's unique. So you need to find your unique selling proposition.
Well, I think what we'll do now is we're going to take a quick break to finest known facts, and then we'll be back to continue our discussion.
Welcome back from the break. Before we went to break, we were talking to David Reeves and Reeves-Laverdure, pronouncing that correctly, about public relations. So when we were just finishing up, we've laid out that it's just not press releases anymore.
Well, again, one of the common misconceptions is, you're a PR firm, you send out press releases. Well, we've had clients we've never sent a press release out for. The real key issue is being able to either look at your own company or have an outside company look at you and determine what really is newsworthy. What are the issues surrounding your company? And for example, we have a company that applies window film on office buildings, and with rising oil prices, the application of solar films is a very interesting way to lower your oil consumption. So that becomes a PR angle, as we said. So it's really critical not just to look at your organization and what is it about it that will be of interest to the third party, which is the media.
In PR, obviously one of the things that seems interesting as we move forward and technology gets better and better, are there ways to measure the effectiveness of a public relations campaign?
Well, to measure, our benchmark for measuring the effectiveness of a campaign is the frequency and quality of the placements. Does it appear in newspapers? Does it appear in magazines? Is it on television? Does it appear on the internet? And keep in mind, it's not necessarily a direct sales vehicle, although sales do result when we get coverage. What publicity is building is it's building the brand and the name recognition and the credibility of the product and the service, so that ultimately people will hire this law firm or people will buy this particular product. And then it's a matter of re-merchandising the coverage you get, making your prospects aware of that this article has appeared, providing them with reprints of manuscripts, of DVDs of appearances on television.
And what makes it so powerful is because it's so credible, it influences your audience, and that's what really helps to serve as a buying tool. Because when you read something, in a magazine, say it's an editor's pick in a magazine, as opposed to being an advertisement in that magazine, I think you'd be a lot more likely to run out and try it. So it's very influential to the people you want to reach.
Does it take a lot of money, if you have a small business, a restaurant, or you're a practicing attorney with, a small firm, does it take a lot of money to get an effective PR campaign going?
Well, it depends. A lot of PR firms charge in different ways. There are retainer-based firms, there are hourly firms, there are companies that are contingency. I'll get you this placement in this magazine and it will cost you X. So the financial arrangements vary depending on that firm.
But given the internet, it seems to me that the barrier of entry is much lower than it was 10 years ago.
It is, and you have a lot of small companies and the micro businesses, as they call them, that are attempting to do their publicity themselves and having a certain level of success for the level of their business, at that time. But it's a decision you have to make. Marketing is the most important component, in a business plan and when deciding how you're going to allocate finances. So just like I can do my own taxes, I don't want to do that because I'm not a professional. So, if you have, I guess we would say if you have none to a very limited budget, you don't want to settle for a PR firm that isn't effective and give them your money. You might try it yourself, buy some books, and then when you reach a little bit higher level where you can afford a PR firm, then you would consider that.
But I will say the spectrum of types of companies that are looking to PR is growing. We represent sole practitioner attorneys, and then we represent large multinational law firms as well. And so I think there is an awareness of where PR falls into the marketing mix now. I think it has become much more prominent than it may have been 15, 20 years ago.
So far, we've really focused on using PR to enhance a business model. Obviously, another side of PR is damage control, and we've had some great examples of that recently, courtesy of Governor Spitzer and others out there. What's your thought on using PR in terms of damage control?
Well, that's a very big, a significant portion of what we do, because bad or uncomfortable things will happen
To good people.
To good
to
people.
good people. It happens all the time, and really, the public is very perceptive, and our advice is always get up there, tell the truth, take your hit, and move on. And too many people we've seen over the years have tried to cover up and tried to minimize what the impact of their actions were.
Would you say that's the biggest error that people make with PR, is not getting ahead of a story that maybe is negative for their business?
Absolutely.
What other pitfalls are there with picking a firm? What kind? How do you go about picking a firm? What other pitfalls are there?
In terms of picking a PR firm?
And managing your PR.